Hi, good evening. My name is Ann Knoll, and I am the very proud principal of St. Catherine's School in Morgan Hill. And on behalf of the school and of the teachers and our instructional assistant, I want to welcome you this evening to hear all about the wonderful programs we have here at St. Catherine, specifically targeted towards our new transitional kindergarten class that we will be offering starting in August. And yay, I like the applause, and our kindergarten class. Again, I'm Ann Knoll, and this is my first year being the principal at St. Catherine's School. I was the 8th grade teacher currently for 3 years at St. Catherine. In addition, I was a principal before at St. Joseph's in Mountain View. The commute got a little bit much. If you've ever driven from South San Jose or Morgan Hill up to Mountain View during commute time or come home, you know that's really not the best place to have to be is on 85. But I have been in education. This is my proud 36th year in education. I have taught in high school and junior high across the country in Springfield, Massachusetts at one time. I taught in Richmond, California high school. I also taught at Queen of Apostles, which is another one of our diocesan schools in San Jose. And I also was a teacher at Archbishop Mitty High School, in case any of you might be Mitty graduates as well. So I have a lot of education, but more importantly, I have a huge love of education. And I can tell you that my passion towards it, I hope permeates down to the students. They see me a lot because it's so important for me to get that kid fix. I'm a little envious of our teachers because they get to work with the kids each and every day. So I'm out a lot at recesses, pickup, morning greeting, and at lunchtime, as well as in the classes. But I want to tell you why we're so pleased that you're joining us here today or this evening to hear all about St. Catherine. And there are so many wonderful things to share. Community is so important. We have so many wonderful, wonderful families that are very involved here at our school and also at our St. Catherine parish. In addition, we are a fully accredited school. We just received another 6-year approval from the Diocese of San Jose. Well, not from the diocese, but from our WASC accreditation. We are very, very enthusiastically always welcoming new families to our school. We have a great extracurricular program for students all the way from TK up with a very wonderful drama program, sports for 5th graders through 8th graders. We have our Rosary Club that is available every other Friday after school as the students make rosaries from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade. That's just some of the wonderful things we have here. We also have 3 outstanding priests. If you happen to go to our parish and go to Mass, they are all wonderful and very engaged with the students. Father Francis was out there playing basketball at lunch today. I saw him with the 8th graders, and I'm sure they were very, very happy to have him there. And by the way, he's an excellent basketball player. We have an outstanding campus ministry program. There are retreats for all grades. We attend Mass virtually, except for one class gets to go in at this point. Before COVID, all of us would go to embrace God and his word in our church. And things are slowly opening up. So we hope very, very soon, all of us will be back in church together. So those are just some of the wonderful, wonderful opportunities and ways that St. Catherine sets itself out in a very positive and different way. There are many schools to look at. I'm sure a lot of you are, but I can't implore again that we are so grateful that you are giving us a chance to talk about all of the great things that we have to offer. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this meeting over to Ms. Gomes and Mrs. Garcia to talk about transitional, or TK as we call it, TK kindergarten, and of course our kindergarten program. If you have any questions at all, I certainly know you can speak with these 2 lovely ladies, but also feel free to email the school. You can find my email address on our website. Obviously, I am the principal. I'm Ann Knoll, so it's anoll@stcatherinemh.org. Please feel free to email me anything that I can help you with or concern, and also our admissions director, Mrs. Jennifer Laws. So enjoy tonight. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. God bless to each and every one of you and your lovely families. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ann. And now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll be able to answer that for you. And so my name is Bernice Garcia, and this is my 12th year at St. Catherine's School. This is my 7th year teaching kindergarten. I have my California Clear credential, and I also have a master's in education. And I'm also certified with the Handwriting Without Tears program. And with me today is Miss Gomes, and she is the first grade teacher, but she was so nice enough to help with this presentation. So that way I'm going to cover most of the things for the regular kindergarten class. And then we're kind of go back and forth, and she will help talk about the transitional kindergarten. And we also have Mrs. Guild here with us. She's my full-time aide, and that way she's kind of assisting. So if there's any questions, she'll let me know. So let's go ahead. And since today is Tuesday, I went ahead and put our regular kindergarten schedule up here. So for the first 30 minutes, we have a welcome, circle time. We do daily news, and then we do language arts and reading groups at 9:30 to actually, it's long. Yeah, we have recess. Should have adjusted that a little bit better. And then after recess, we have math. After math, we have writer's workshop. And then we have lunch. After lunch, we have Spanish. So we have Spanish twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we have social studies, religion, and then cleanup and time to go home. And then so you can see our schedule is from 8 to 2. And that'll be the same hours for TK, and Miss Gomes will talk a little bit about that.
So as you know, transitional kindergarten TK is new for the 2022-2023 school year. We're really excited to offer this program this year, and it allows our youngest cougars, that's our school mascot for those of you who don't know, 4 years old by September 1st to begin their academic career here at St. Catherine. And TK is awesome because it, really sets that foundation and gives parents more, an additional option to help their children enter kindergarten with the maturity and skills needed to be successful. So we're really excited to have this program this year. Next year, not this year. So here's an example of a sample daily schedule. So we won't know exactly for sure yet because, once they hire a well-qualified teacher, she or he will have a certain schedule in place, but this is kind of just an overview and a general idea. So there'd be a morning meeting, a lot of phonemic awareness and practicing with handwriting and fine motor skills. Also going into, reading comprehension, more language arts, math as well. Also social emotional skills, which are really important, especially, in these younger ages, learning self-regulation skills, how to play, cooperation. And there also will be science and social studies, religion, and then art and PE, of course. The dismissal time will be at 2:00 p.m. It's not listed on here, but there will be a recess, and their recess, TK's recess, is going to be separate. So they'll have their own recess, which is kind of cool. And there will be a lunch, obviously, but I did not post it on there, but yes, a lunch. They will eat, don't worry. So that's just kind of a general overview.
And usually, I forgot to mention this too, Wednesdays is an early day because the faculty and staff have meetings. So usually Wednesdays is a 12:30 dismissal, and that would be the same for all of us. And then I'm going to go over a little bit of the curriculum for kindergarten, and then we'll kind of go back and forth, between the subjects to kind of go over what's in the regular kindergarten and what's in the transitional kindergarten. So in the regular kindergarten class in language arts, we do letter and letter sound recognition. We have a unit on short vowels. So we spend about 12 weeks on them. We learn we go through, all the vowels, and then we have a little review, and then we go into all the long vowels. So we talk about the bossy E and vowel teams, and then we move on to blends. We also, teach, reading comprehension, putting the story in order and making predictions, what's going to happen next and why do you think it's going to happen? And we also write for a variety of purposes. So we starts out in the beginning of the year where their writing looks like mostly pictures. And then it develops into letters, words, and the sentences, and then finally has a beginning, middle, and end. So it's really fun to see all the growth in kindergarten. Some of the projects that we do, we have reading groups that usually starts about the 8th week of school for a regular kindergarten class. And then we have journals that, so we could write about different things, what we did over the weekend or different things we're learning about. We have take-home books. We have lots of leveled readers. So what's really neat is for homework, we personalize it. So every month we test the kids at their reading level. And so they're given a printed book and a worksheet that matches. So everybody's homework, is based upon what they need. We also use Raz Kids for homework, and they're given 2 books, one that's at their level and one that's above their level to keep them challenged. So that's, just wanted to talk about that. And we also have a fabulous handwriting program. We use Handwriting Without Tears, and the transitional kindergarten would also use it. And we also have all the way up through 5th grade, I believe, uses it. And what's really nice about this program is that it makes writing really simple for the kids. So it takes the 4 basic pieces. So they use wooden blocks. So we have a big line, big curve, and little curve. And with all these, just these 4 basic pieces, you can form all the capital letters with it. So it just makes it really simple. The kids enjoy it. And it just makes learning a lot easier. And then in TK.
Okay, so I'm just going to touch on a few points for language arts for TK. So definitely at this age, they're going to start teaching about, concepts of print, like distinguishing between a letter and a word, recognizing all upper and lowercase letters, and also just, following words left to right and top to bottom, page by page, and reading books. Also for phonological awareness, talking about, recognizing and producing rhyming words, and counting, blending, and segmenting syllables into spoken words, and also blending sounds together. And then for phonics and word recognition, we're going to talk about the TKers will work on recognizing their own name, matching uppercase and lower letter names to their printed form, associating sounds with letters, and identifying short vowel sounds. And then going into some key ideas and details from literature, basically retelling different stories, which is really important to understand what you're reading. And then going into tracing and copying letters. So working on, those fine motor skills, how to hold a pencil correctly, which goes into the pencil grip. And also drawing pictures, which is also, important, especially when writing stories, by putting a visual first. So when they draw a picture and then they can write about what they drew. And then also forming letters correctly, which also goes with the our Handwriting Without Tears program, which is fabulous. I agree with Mrs. Garcia. We use it in 1st grade as well. And they have a great like a TK type preschool type program with it too. So that's just kind of a general overview of some of the language arts concepts for TK.
And then we'll move over to math. So in the regular kindergarten class, we talk about sorting and classifying. We talk about patterns. They learn to count. They learn the numbers to 100, so they count by ones and tens. And we also challenge them by fives as well. They write their numbers from 0 to 20, counting and comparing sets to 20. We talk about measurement. We learn the days of the week, the names and compare shapes to both the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes, and addition and subtraction till 10. And then some of the math projects that we've done, we use a lot of manipulatives and we do real life situations. So we'll ask kids questions and then we can graph how many, like the particular thing. And then we have some STEM projects, for example, and then we have the 100th day of school. So every day we count down and then we have a big celebration for the 100th day. So that's always fun for them. And then we have cooking days. Looks a little bit different now, but hopefully we can get back to what we were before the pandemic. So this is a picture of, we have parent volunteers, and then we have they make 4 different things, and then we kind of rotate through the stations, which is really fun because then they get to see, just a real life application of the math.
And for transitional kindergarten, some of the concepts that will be touched upon are counting to 30 by ones, writing numbers 0 through 10, identifying whether the number of objects in one group is greater than, less than, or equal to. So, using that academic vocabulary, introducing that to them, which is really important and a good foundation. Also 2D shape identification, and then using positional words such as above, below, beside, and then talking about patterns as well. So where you see patterns in day-to-day life, how to draw patterns, and different math concepts like that. So that's just another couple of ideas.
Yeah, and then also just before I move on to the next subject, for math, we're always looking for parent volunteers to, even if parents can't come in person, if they they can Zoom in with us, we can always schedule a time. And this is for, kindergarten all the way up through 8th grade. So if a parent has a job that uses math, we are always looking for math speakers to kind of share with the students. So that way they can learn what different jobs are available and what you can do with math.
And they find out math is really all around you. So,
so that's always a fun thing. And then next, of course, because we're a Catholic school, we learn about religion. And in kindergarten, we learn, God is our creator. We learn about the Holy Family. We learn about feelings. And of course, all the church seasons, Advent, Christmas, Lent, and Easter, and about Mary. And these are the basic prayers that we learn: the sign of the cross, the Our Father, the Hail Mary, grace, and the guardian angel prayer. And then these are some projects that we have in religion. So of course, we just finished this project. We did a saint report. So kids get to pick whatever saint they want to do their report on. So it could be a saint that they're named after, or maybe they like sports, and so they want to do Saint Sebastian, or they find an activity that they enjoy that a saint has as well. And then we get to share it with each other. And it's just really fun because we all learn from each other. And sometimes there's saints that are new to us. So it's really fun. Another project is baptism. So, some of the kids don't remember when they're baptized. So when we talk about it, we have a little interview. So they get to interview, their parents. And if they weren't baptized, then they get to do a report about their upcoming baptism, or maybe just what baptism is, or maybe they've gone to a baptism before. So we just kind of personalize it depending on, where we're at. At Christmas time, we do giving mangers. So that's the picture on the bottom right. So we have paper hay, and then every time a child does a good deed, they can put hay in the manger. So we're kind of readying the way for Jesus to be born. And then we also have take-home bags. So we have a little bag with a book or a little stuffed animal. We have one that has a Pope Francis book and a little stuffed Pope Francis. And we also have Louis the Prayer Lamb. So kids get to take that home and read the books. And then there's a class book that they can write and draw in. So just wanted to touch upon that. And then next is social studies. So in kindergarten, especially the beginning of the year, they're learning, the rules and trying to work cooperatively with each other. We have different jobs in the classroom. We learn about our state, California, as well as our country. And we learned about homes and families and neighborhoods and the communities, jobs in different places out there. And then some of the projects that we do, of course, this year is very different. But in other years, we visited the fire station, or we have a fireman come in the class, and talk to the students. Or we've had a talk from a policeman. We have a project called Flat Stanley. So we read a picture book about a boy named Stanley who was flattened by his bookcase. But the cool thing about being flat is that it's cheap to travel because you can mail him. And so we make little flat kindergartners of ourselves. And then we have a little interview questionnaire that gets mailed as well. So you can send, the kindergartners can send their flat cells to their family and friends who live far away. And then it gets mailed back. And it's kind of an ongoing project throughout the year. So then we get to learn about the different places that the flat kindergartners has visited. So that's really a fun thing. We've also visited the grocery store before. And again, if parents have different jobs, we encourage them, to talk to the, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, to talk to the class so that the kids get to learn more. And then another project we do is mini communities. So the kids learn a little bit about maps and about different places in the community and different jobs. And then they get to design a little community of their own. And what's nice is there's no right or wrong answer, but they get to explain, why they set up their community the way they did and why, which is always fun. And then next we have science. So we do the new generation science standards. And these are kind of the 4 basic units. We work on pushes and pulls, the weather, engineering, and plants and animals. And some of the projects that we have in the spring, and we usually have chicken eggs in the incubator. So then the kids get to see the life cycle, and then they hopefully get to see the chicks hatch. We also have a school garden. And the kids have a blast. We get to go there at least once a week, which is very fun for them. Yes. And some of the STEM projects that I mentioned earlier are leprechaun traps. So they learn about the simple machines and science. So they have to take what they learn, and then they work in a group to try to design a trap that will catch, a leprechaun. And then if they're unsuccessful, then they get to think, work together and decide, what worked, what can I improve upon, to build upon, just to use those critical thinking skills. Another projects we've done is little pig houses. So we read the story of the 3 little pigs, and then they have to design a house that's strong enough so the wolf can't blow it down. We've done bridges before, and we've done down by the bay, watermelon push. So we don't, the kids get to use ramps, or they get to see, what they can do to get that watermelon to go the farthest. So those are some activities. And what's the nice thing about the STEM is that it builds the 21st century skills. So not just skills that are needed to be successful in kindergarten, but the rest of their life. They learn collaboration, to work together in a group, also how to be creative, to problem solve, and to be critical thinkers. And then we have Spanish on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Maestra Paredes is the teacher. And we learn, colors, numbers, classroom objects, days of the week, months of the year, the alphabet, Spanish phrases and prayers. And then PE, we have Coach Mike, who the kids love, Mondays and Thursdays. And we do have a perceptual motor skills program in place. So they kind of work in stations to develop their skills. And then when we have the TK, Coach Mike will also be teaching them as well. So they would be be also getting that.
So here's just a really, like we said, the TK program is going to be new this year. So we did look up some different concepts and subjects that students will be learning. So this is just a general overview, but for religion, they'll be introduced to the prayers and mass responses, as well as different Bible stories like the creation stories. They're learning that God is our creator. And then in social studies, they'll be introduced to, geography, citizenship, influence of people and events, and they'll be comparing life long ago and today. And then for science, they're going to start, describing different materials and learning a lot about plants and animals. And like Ms. Garcia said, they'll be going to the garden as well, which we love going to the garden. They have the best time there and they learn so much. And then also, learning about the 4 seasons as well. So that's just kind of a general little overview of some topics. And then in transitional kindergarten, like I said, kind of at the beginning of the presentation, the social emotional skills are very important. And that's, a big focus of transitional kindergarten is, one of them is self-awareness. So learning how to identify feelings, whether you're happy, sad, angry, jealous, proud and scared, and being able to, verbalize your feelings, which is, obviously we know that's really important to be able to say how you're feeling. So that's going to be a big topic. Also learning self-regulation. So how to take care of your physical needs, using the restroom, different hygiene, following social and classroom rules, accepting responsibility for your actions, and also learning to, keep personal space. Sometimes we call it our, little bubble. I don't know if you call that too. So those are a few topics. And then we have other ones like self-expression, so learning how to make good choices, wise choices, communicating. So learning, how to ask for help when needed, and also following 1 and 2 step directions. And then, finally, social interaction, learning how to share and take turns, resolve conflict, actively and intentionally play with peers. And, in transitional kindergarten, play is, such a big part of it because, play is how students learn and play is their work. So, yeah, you can learn a lot through play. So, yeah, that's just a general overview of that topic.
Thanks. And then I know the big question that a lot of you might have is about the kindergarten screening. And so it's more of a test of their readiness rather than what they know. But here's some of the topics that are covered in it. There are questions that have to deal with phonemic awareness, also uppercase and lowercase letter recognition. And then we ask them to write their name. Also, there's listening and speaking, oral skills, following directions, and then fine motor skills, cutting and tracing, as well as number recognition to 10 and counting. And then, so here's, if you have any questions, I will definitely take questions now. But if you have any questions, here is my email, bgarcia@stcatherinemh.org. And then as Mrs. Knoll was saying earlier, her email is here too, anoel@stcatherinemh.org. And then also Jennifer Laws is emailed there too. So she's also our facilitator with all this. Right now, so the first question is, will TK have a Spanish class? And that I'm not sure. Sorry. And that I'm not sure right now because it's kind of new. So we're going to have to find out about that I'm not sure of. Oh, but now I don't know if they can hear me. And then what is the ratio to teacher for student for kindergarten? So I can answer that for both. Sorry. So for the regular kindergarten class, this year we have 33 kids And then we've taken up, the max is 36. And then for TK, I know it's, so in kindergarten, before I move on, in kindergarten, we have, I'm the teacher and there's a full-time aide. And so the max is 36. For transitional kindergarten, it would be, for every 12 students, there's a full-time aide. There's a teacher and a full-time aide, as well. So hopefully that, and then how many children in a kindergarten class on average? So again, this year we have 33. And then is there a similar screening for TK? So I believe for TK, it's you have to be 4 years old by September 1st. And then in the regular kindergarten class, they have the screening as well as the, you have to have your 5th birthday by September 1st as well. And then if your student starts out in the TK, then it would be a two-year program. And then the assessments will usually, so if you filled out everything, then we'll be in contact with you. I think Jennifer Laws will be sending you an appointment time. I know the testing or the screening is usually done in January. So January, I believe it's the week of the 10th through 19th. And then we also have an open house on January 30th. I believe that's a Sunday. It's usually right following the 10:30 Mass. And that's the kickoff to Catholic Schools Week. And then there's interviews. So Mrs. Knoll usually interviews the new families. And then in February, I believe it's right before the winter break. That's when the acceptance letters are mailed out as well. And then I believe the application closes on December 15th. So I think all of you are on top of it. Oh, yes. So it maxes for the regular kindergarten class, it maxes out at 36. And there's a full-time teacher and a full-time aide for that too. And we do kind of split up the class as much as we can. For example, I'll take half the kids for language arts, and then my aide will take the other half, for centers. And then we switch back, so all the kids get to do everything the centers as well as oh yeah, the date for open house is January 30th. So it's that Sunday. It's usually about 11:30. It's following the 10:30 Mass. So it's right after. I think there was one. What's the time frame? Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I have to look into it. I think that when you receive the letters, I'm pretty sure there's a date on there, but I'm just not, sorry. I know Mrs. Laws probably knows more about that part of the process, but I know there is a date on there.
We can ask her.
Yeah, we can ask her. Let's see here. Just looking. I hope I try to answer. Does anyone else have an additional?
I think you got most of the ones in the chat box.
And then I know the other thing I didn't mention before is the TK would also wear uniforms just like all of the other St. Catherine students.
Oh, and buddies. We have a buddy system. So the students are paired up with, an older class. So TK would also get buddies too, which is really fun. So.
And all the kids
Oh,
love it.
yeah, they do. They do.
The young ones and the old
They
ones.
look up to the, the older ones, and then the older ones are, excited to like pretend they're feel like they're going back in the past. Yeah. So, yeah, we're excited,
Mhm.
and yeah, feel free to, and if anything else comes up, feel free to contact Miss Garcia or Mrs. Knoll or Jennifer Laws.
Mhm.
And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thanks.
And I believe if you, there's also, Mrs. Law says that all the admissions and application information is on our website. So you could always go there and the dates. So if you forget what dates we mentioned, you can go there, and I believe there's a little outline of important dates for the admission process.
And I think there's also, is there a video on there for
Oh,
kindergarten
yeah.
too, like
So there,
kindergarten interview, if you want to see, I know some of you might have seen it, some of you. So those are kind of fun to watch.
yeah, so we
for
need to,
parents.
yeah, we need to update some of, some of them, but that was from last year. So if you are interested in seeing a little bit more of our school, you can go to that site, and then there's different, and we're going to be updating that soon, but you can see some of the classes. There's kindergarten, first grade,
Yeah.
fourth grades up
Yeah.
there. So there's a few of the different classes that are up there. So you can just get a feel of what the different grades are like and what they're studying. We do have a diverse student population, and that's actually one of our accreditation goals, is to be to learn more about inclusive cultures, and we're doing a lot with that this year, with having different books come in and having books donated, and talking about just different cultures, and
yeah.
even we work really closely with the Faith Formation, and they have been doing faith and culture series. So they have little workshops, which is for all of us and parents, for everyone to learn about how the different cultures of our church, practice their Catholic faith. So
And
that's always
it's been eye-opening for us as teachers too, just to, see how different cultures, celebrate. So,
yeah, because we're the same religion, but it's just really nice to see, the different ways, and kind of appreciate all the different ways as well.
yeah.
Oh, we do have, that's some great questions there. So the question was, what time is the earliest drop off? We do have our extended care program. So it opens up as early as 7 a.m. So you can drop students off at 7 a.m. And then after school, there's also, so some kids have siblings. So we have a group of, some students go at the 2 o'clock dismissal, they'll go to extended care and stay there till 3. And then sometimes parents, if they have siblings, a lot of them will get picked up at 3, and then some of them stay later. And 6 o'clock is the latest time in the evening to pick up the kids. So it starts at 7, 7 to 8, and then right after school starts at 2 o'clock. It would be for both the kinders and transitional kinders up until 6 o'clock. And then on Wednesdays, it would start at again, it would happen in the morning from 7 to 8, and then also right after school at 12:30. So then they would eat their lunch there. And we also have a hot lunch program. So kids can bring their lunch, or they can purchase a school lunch, and they have 4 different options, or actually no, more than 4. There's a
Yeah.
variety of different
Different ones
things.
to choose from.
Mhm.
Even I've ordered from it before.
I mean, if it's brought up, then we can mention, we mention, but I think most, there's just kind of a lot with our own faith that we.
Yeah, it's kind of like probably the central focus, but and I know, once they get to the older grades too, like learning about different religions, I believe is a standard as well, a California standard.
Mhm.
So they do learn about, different faiths.
And we do service projects as well. So starting from the youngest kids, all the way up through 8th grade. And I believe the junior high kids also have service hours that they complete. But I know for kindergarten, one of the things was they've led the canned food drive for Thanksgiving, and different things like that. They've made placemats for Pacific Hills for the nursing home that's next door. And so we try to involve the kids. Oh, and for Christmas, we have, each class adopts 1 or 2 families for the
Mhm.
spirit of giving. And so we work together and the kids can help decide what kind of gifts that this family would like. And then our whole class kind of works together, all the different classes work together so that we're able to get all the gifts and wrap them and to provide a family with. Mhm. So that's always a fun one as
Good
well.
project, yeah. And we
Mhm.
did treats for troops just
Oh, that's right.
recently where all the leftover candy, we collected it all, and my first grade was in charge of, sorting it all and weighing it, and the parents loved it too because they could get rid of all the candy and and it was, I have like in first grade when we were sorting the candy, one of my students, I just have to share, said, I love this. This is better than a party. Like he felt so accomplished by helping people out and providing something special for someone. So I think that's something about our school that's really great is those
Mhm.
service projects that we do.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
last year we started, we had a new project, blessing bag. So we had all the school families donated different things like socks, soap, toothbrushes. And we had a kind of an assembly line outside, and the different classes got to take turn and made blessing bags. So we got to give them to the police officer who took them. So that way when he sees people, and we've also donated them to different charities as well. And the kids really enjoyed that. And I think that it was so successful. And the kids really enjoyed it that we would do that. I think we're
Yeah.
planning on doing that
Doing it
again
again.
this year, moving forward.
All right. Well, thank you. All right.
Well, thanks, everyone. Are there any other questions?
Let's see anything else on here. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks.
So thank you again for coming on. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll try our best to answer them.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.